the United Nations, Council of 13, the Masons, Illuminati, Royal Order of Jesters, Skull and Bones, and the Gates and Rockefeller Foundation. Hey, New World Order! We're coming for you, never forgot 9/11, and we studied your moves. We got your blueprints down, now you're bound to lose. And look us in the eyes when we tighten that noose. Snap, America's coming back for vengeance. Pushed us to the fences, this time's offensive. Snake strikes defensive, so tread on that. Our people went off course, we led them back. So united we stand, divided they fall. Just a torso, no legs and arms. Heads on spikes, all globalists gone. It's either that or enslaved with a chip in our arm.
5, 4, 3.
Know your enemies.
Everybody, welcome back to the America First Warehouse. This is episode 55 of the Know Your Enemies podcast. I'm James Justice. We got Steve and Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting! Yeah, all day, every day. Hope everybody's having a good beginning of the week. We have a crazy time, man. We've had the election took place with the mayor.
Congratulations to the sheriff, Suffolk County Sheriff Errol Toulon for re-election, and congratulations to the district attorney, Ray Tierney, on his re-election. And
yeah, there were some wins, there were some losses. I mean, one of the biggest losses that we had was New York City with the communist mayor that now took place.
You know, I don't know what to say other than we will see what happens. Hopefully, it's a peaceful transition, and business continues to thrive, tourism continues to thrive, and there's not too much violence, and crime stays to a minimum.
Well, being with the bounce back and forth like a ping pong table on from truth to lies with this guy, it's kind of hard to get a judgment of how he's going to act when he's finally in office. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to play his own words and see what he was talking about and what he backpedaled on, and let's roll this clip.
Let's hear it.
I want to say it very clearly. I will not defund the police.
I am in favor of defunding the police.
He was in junior high.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
I was speaking about Zehra Fouhi, my father's cousin.
Doesn't wear a
I don't
hijab.
really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the question of justice and safety.
The struggle for Palestinian liberation was at the core of my politics and continues to be.
I am not, and nor have I ever called for the legalization of prostitution.
Do you support decriminalizing prostitution?
Yes, my fundamental belief that sex work is work.
I would be happy to work with the president and the administration.
What we need to be doing here in our city is to end the chapter of collaboration between City Hall and the federal government.
I don't believe that the role of the mayor is to police speech.
There are consequences for speaking up in favor of apartheid.
Yo, so you can't make it up. All this guy does is lie, lie, and lie. He tells you what you want to hear, and then he does the exact opposite. So when he takes office in January 1st, it's going to be, man, I don't even know, buddy.
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty convinced that it's going to be a peaceful transition.
Well, I don't know. You're in the real estate market, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen when this guy starts seizing buildings and does rent freezes?
If he does. They were talking about seizing Trump's building.
No, I'm not talking about like Letitia James. I'm talking about Mandami, who's going to be the mayor.
But he's not. He's only a politician. He's not capable of changing the laws to be seizing. You have to have legal judgments. Judges have to order these things. The buildings don't just get seized.
Well, let's think about COVID. What were they doing with COVID? They shut down everyone's business, right?
Yeah.
With authority from the state.
I mean, I don't feel threatened by Mandani. Is it Mandani?
Mandami, whatever the hell his name is.
I'm not threatened by him. I feel that it's going to be a peaceful transition, and I think that we should all hope for the same. If any New York City police officers are considering jumping ship, I would strongly recommend not doing that. I think that they should just ride it out. Ride it out.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, we're going to see what happens regardless. I mean, Trump has vowed to give no support to New York City. Communist mayor.
That's not fair. He was elected, so that's not fair to make that call when you have a bunch of other people that the opportunity to vote start saying that you're gonna fund that state. I mean,
But how do we know he was elected and not selected? Because of the machines are still in place with Dominion.
Anybody that gets the nomination, and you got to figure that and that's why you have so much flip-flopping, is because they're speaking what the party wants them to speak, and their own values may be opposing what the party told them to say.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with New York City. I hope everything works out for the best. But, given this guy's track record, it doesn't.
I mean, my question was in regards to the Democrat Socialists of America that brought him to power. I'm pretty sure that it's the same group that brought AOC in, and I want to know why the Republicans don't have other factions of the Republican Party as well. I mean, I don't understand how the Democrats have this party within a party so that they can circumvent the party's nomination and get their own candidate through. I mean,
it's shady politics.
I mean, I don't know how they're doing it. It must be a pretty powerful organization. They have to have attorneys and so forth involved.
Well, speaking of attorneys involved, do you hear what's going on with Suffolk County with, jailing the migrants in
I don't
facilities?
know the truth. I mean, I don't know the truth.
I got a picture. Pull this picture up real quick. Here, let's get this on screen. So basically, Suffolk County has lost 100 and what was it? How much was
112?
it? Yeah, it was like 112, right? $112 million because they were housing illegals there. And I guess whatever release dates that the illegals were having, there was a hold on ICE for these illegals so they wouldn't let them out of the facility. And apparently by Suffolk County not letting them out of the jails and holding them for ICE was a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And now there's a big legal battle going on, and they're scrambling to try to find a way to appeal this. But that's a lot of money that's going to be on the hook for the Suffolk County residents if that's the case. I mean, listen, the people got to get deported.
What really struck me about that number was the amount of people involved in the class action. It did not seem like a lot of people. It only seemed like a few hundred people to split up $112 million. And that is the American dream. I mean, you come here, you skip over the border, you make it to New York, you get work.
And credit cards and scooters.
You get scooped up. You make a mistake, whatever it is, you get scooped up, and somehow you become a part of a lawsuit that makes you eligible or possibly eligible to take part in something that could make you a millionaire.
Yeah, and then you're going to go back to your country and rebuild your house and go, thanks, America, while the average American is sitting in squalor, working week to week with no benefits.
Right. It's just insanity. I mean, the whole system is becoming insanity. The machine is growing so big and so powerful that you must comply.
Yeah, if you don't comply, you're not part of the game, and you get kicked off the board.
And even when you think that you're complying,
you're not.
You may not be complying.
No, you may not, because the rules always change.
Right, the rules are always changing. Nothing's set in stone. You think you're doing the right thing. Next thing you know, you're facing jail.
Yep.
And it's not fair. It's not right. And it's not basically in the good or in the right spirit of the law anymore. It's gone away from that now. Where people don't use their better judgment, they go to somebody else in authority's judgment, and they go to somebody else in authority's judgment, and then it ends up in the wrong hands, and the wrong people are telling you what to do, and it has completely nothing to do with your rights.
No,
your rights are being absolutely violated because they're afraid of their, they don't want to make a call. They don't want to make the decision. They just want to protect.
They don't want to be accountable.
Protect myself and CYA to everyone around me. Cover my ass. Cover my ass. Cover my ass. And to the point where it's just hurting. Anybody in government that's supposed to do a job is afraid to do it because it's all about covering their own ass.
Yeah, that's true. And it comes down to it's supposed to be serve and protect, not harass and collect. And that's what, our entire government seems to be doing, is harassing and collecting and not really serving the people's best interests.
No.
It's a systematic form of extortion, like you said in one of your speeches, and it's got to stop. It has to stop.
It has to stop.
But
nobody looks out for the who's in the right anymore. If it's who's in the right situation, everyone gets locked up.
Exactly.
That's what I think it is. I think it's like, all right, well, even though we think this guy's in the right and that guy's in the wrong, we let the courts settle it.
Yeah.
You know, we'll just cover our asses, and that way there's no lawsuits. We just lock them both up.
Exactly.
And it's not right. It's not right. This is not. I mean, we're paying for this system, and it's not right. I think the district attorney, Ray Tierney, needs to have a talk with every single department and let them know that if your heart tells you one thing, you follow your heart. You don't cover your ass. You follow your heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Protect the people that you're supposed to be protecting.
Exactly. And speaking of protection, let's roll this clip real quick. There was a hate crime in New York City, and I dropped a report on it. It's just mind-blowing how stupid some of these reporters are. So run that clip real quick. Then we're going to take a break.
All right, guys. Wait until you see this one. This was a news report put out by ABC looking for a suspicious man. They can't figure out who it is. He has not been identified. But a hate crime is taking place in New York. Let's check this out.
News obtaining surveillance video in the search for a man who spray painted anti-Semitic graffiti outside of a school.
I said, hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
You see the man pause on his bike. It happened outside of a yeshiva in Gravesend. It was around 6:30 in the morning.
No. Wait.
An Israeli flag was later placed over the spot where a swastika was found.
Is this guy suspicious? Does he fit a certain type of profile? Hey, I'm not saying nothing.
You can cut that one off. So, yeah, I mean, ABC is like, mystery man sprayed swastika on the building.
They could have cleared up the video themselves.
They could have cleared up the video themselves. And even without the clear video, it's freaking obvious, bro. Nobody's walking around in a suit and with a top hat. Nobody's walking around with a suit and a top hat, not even to go spray a swastika. The people that are, like, going around doing these, like, things like that, right? Let's just say it was
It's
the
an
bottom.
op? You're saying it's an op?
Yeah, it's an op. It can't be the bottom of the barrel society of some dirtbag that's running around going, oh yeah, I'm gonna spray a swastika. Because why are you gonna afford a $300 suit and a top hat to put a swastika on a wall? Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. It's an op.
Doesn't make sense. We got about 40 seconds till we go to break, and we're gonna come back with some more stuff. But yeah, like, the fake stream media has to stop putting out these bogus articles.
Yeah, well, we need to get rid of the Smith-Mundt Act.
Yeah, the Smith-Mundt Act has to be repealed. We say it all the time, and that has to do with Obama legalizing propaganda on U.S. soil, and he revised the Smith-Mundt Act, and it needs to be repealed back to its original form so we don't have this crap going on our TV stations, on our radios, and half of the country believing in lies and fighting against the people that just want to tell the truth. So with that, we'll be back in a little bit after the next break, and I'll see you on the next segment. Share this out.
Stay tuned.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Hey, fellow patriots, it's Cindy Gross here, host of Right for America, from your favorite place, the America First Warehouse. You've seen me show on my show so many products, from this country's #1 most patriotic manufacturer with close to 400 products. You need to exchange the products you use in your house to this company and make your dollars count in our country.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the America First Warehouse,
the most patriotic venue in all the land.
Episode 55 is on the table right now. Make sure you guys share this out. We're fighting algorithms and censorship and shadow ban and all the good stuff that, you know, they try to hold us down with. But we're breaking out of the chains.
Yeah,
so
man.
We're counting on you to share this podcast
And also
out.
to let Scott Lebedo know that Mondani said he can go home and get his shine box.
Oh, man. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's what it is.
Mondami's dancing in his place right now. So speaking of Mondami winning the New York City, man, so a call to prayer broke out in New York City, and it was a sight to see. And, you know, this is a Christian nation. I have no problem with Muslims or anything like that, as long as you assimilate.
We
If
love
you don't
all
assimilate, if you don't assimilate, I don't know what to tell you. But this was the sight in Times Square a little while back. Let's play this. Now, did they have to pull permits for this? Because I can recall, I have on video them locking up the Patriots for trying to unfold the world's biggest back the blue flag in New York City.
And they got locked up.
And they got locked up. So, you know, and then on the same day, there was a protest going on 2 blocks away with the immigrants protesting ICE.
Police have to realize who has their back.
Yeah. Now you can cut this off. So I have another clip over here that we're gonna run, and this is the Christian version of what we just saw. Let's play this real quick.
We're done hiding. We're done. We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is
what they're saying.
This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be a part of Islam, and we will not stop until it enters every home.
That's not peaceful.
Was that here?
This is how we represent Times Square.
From the north to the south to the east to the west, there's one body, there's one baptism, there's one Jesus, there's one Holy Ghost.
Amen. Let's go. Yeah. So that's the type of energy we want to see in Times Square, man. We don't want to see prayer rugs and call to prayers because, yo, this is a Christian nation. Our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence was inspired by God, was inspired by the Bible, and it wasn't the Quran. So listen, man, if you guys are going to sit there and say that you need to have the Quran and Islam in every single home throughout America, we're not having it. It's not going to happen on our watch, and that's what we're talking about, bro. So we're going to show the hypocrisy with when they get power, what their intentions are, and when somebody that has Christ and that type of attitude behind them, what their intentions are, and it's a night and day difference. We're not trying to conquer. We're trying to have everybody live together and love thy neighbor. That shit don't sound like love thy neighbor. We're gonna put it in every single household. Dude, that's a threat. Right? To
I
our
don't know
Christian
that
nation.
was recorded anywhere near New York.
Dude, that was in Times Square. What are you talking about?
The dude saying that?
Open your eyes, jerky.
The
Come
dude
on,
said
man.
that?
Yeah. It doesn't matter if he said it. You look at the background. It's all Times Square. That was Times Square.
Listen, all I'm saying is it'll probably be a peaceful transition.
I don't know. I don't care about all that. You know what I'm saying?
You can't be in favor of people quitting their jobs and all hell breaking loose. You can't be in favor of that. You got to just hope for a peaceful transition. I think that's what we're gonna have.
Well, real quick, if he raises the taxes on the 1% and they leave, right? What do you mean how? He's the mayor of the city. He says, all right, the city tax now. If you own a business in the city, we're fucking jacking it up until 8%, 9%, 10%, or whatever it is. And then you know what they're gonna say? We have the money to leave the city. Bye. See you later. Pack it up. And where does that tax burden fall on? The middle class. And the middle class can't afford to leave, and they can't afford to do anything. So it's going to put the pinch on them. They're going to end up homeless. And then all of a sudden, people can't afford anything no more. They're going to start stealing, and that's where your state-run grocery stores come in. It's going to be a mess.
When the landlords start contributing to his campaign, I'm sure he's going to change his tone.
I don't know.
I'm sure.
The landlords are hurting now. They don't want to fix broken faucets and leaky pipes inside these buildings, and all of a sudden they're going to come out from Mondami. Don't come after me? I don't think so. I don't know. But on the brighter side of the news, did you hear that Candace Owens is #1 on the planet with her podcast?
Rightfully so.
Pull her up. Let's show this graphic real quick. Yeah, there she is. Yo, she is taking over the internet.
She's on the front lines.
I got another one with the charts. Let's pull these charts up. Yeah, can you zoom in on #1 right there, the #1 top spot, just so we can show the liberals? Can we show them?
Super articulate, super conservative, professional, and she has evidence.
Yeah. So that's the chart anyway. You can go look it up yourself, and you can see her #1 on the top. And yeah, man. So all hell has broken loose ever since this news has taken place.
And they've been trying to dismantle her.
Yeah, they're trying to take her down. So a lot of news has come out ever since then, and there's been these people trying to debunk her and discredit her and this and that. So she's been talking about text messages that she had with Charlie Kirk, and basically they were like, yeah, those are lies, those are AI, you made them yourself. And so she came out on a podcast yesterday and was like, oh yeah, I'm lying? Here you go. Here's the lifetime scroll down me and Charlie Kirk's correspondence.
Sure.
So let's roll this clip real quick, see what she's talking about.
Here we go, I found it. There we go. A little bit of typos, there we go.
Good job, Candace.
Okay, here we go, guys. Just to show you this, just looked up on my phone. These are not made up text messages. You probably want to see the date here. You can see the time sliding. Hold on. We did not make up these messages, okay. Iron sharpens iron. It's not a dominance partnership. Each hand washes the other. It is what Christ talked about as true partnership, reliant yet separate. None other dominant. Of course, there is struggle, disagreement, but each side gets stronger and sharper because of the other. This is us describing our partnership. These are just real. What an absolute nonsense to think that I would make up text messages. It's just such a nonsense. I don't even know what would be the point of that. What would be the point of that, okay? I was very clear at the beginning of this entire thing, no fakeness and no gayness. I asked that if you didn't get along with Charlie, you don't think that you could just drop $1 million and then rewrite history, okay? You might have money, we have truth.
Yeah, you might have money. We have the truth,
and that's why we have America. The America First Warehouse and Know Your Enemies podcast to get out the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, and everyone's bashing Candace Owens. She's anti-Semitic. She's this, she's that. But they're only going off of little clips that have been taken out of context. They're not listening to her full podcast.
Sure.
If you put the pieces of the puzzle together, she has a Picasso-type stroke when it comes to, analyzing data and getting the truth out.
And she preserves the evidence.
Yeah. So another guy that's real hot in the news is Nick Fuentes. All right. They are so hell-bent on trying to get this guy off air and destroy his career.
He's ruthless.
He's ruthless, man. And I don't agree with 100%.
I think he needs a Dominican to hit him with a haircut.
Something. I
like him. I just think he needs a Dominican to get in there and take care of that I'd call it a pompadour.
Yeah, but I don't agree with everything he says, but he does have some good points on certain subjects.
I think he's great.
Let's roll this clip.
What is Palantir? Can you explain what this is a little bit?
Palantir is a CIA cutout. So in 2001, after 9/11,
this is the program Trump gave $50 million to.
Artificial intelligence or an algorithm to interpret these vast amounts of data. The intelligence community takes all this massive amounts of data, emails, phone calls, text messages. Palantir interprets all of it into insights that are usable by law enforcement. And so in 2001, after 9/11, they took what was a CIA program and they just effectively privatized it to bypass the Constitution. You know, the Constitution protects people's privacy, but a private company doesn't have to play by the same rules.
So 2001, you're saying that the CIA was spying on people and collecting all this data, and then to get around public oversight, they sort of transferred this into a private company?
Right. So Palantir is a firm that creates usable insights based on vast amounts of data. It's a private entity to circumvent the Constitution. They're founded in 2001. Until 2008, they only worked for the CIA. And the CIA actually provided startup money through their venture capital arm, InQtel. So they provided all the money for it, and they created all the products. So Peter Thiel, Alex Carr, Joe Lonsdale, they were at Langley, Virginia, at the CIA headquarters making everything for the CIA as a so-called contractor. And then after that, they branched out into everything. So they identified the Capitol rioters on January 6th. They were identifying who wasn't vaccinated in 2021.
What were they doing with people that weren't vaccinated?
Just to identify contact tracing, who had COVID and who was spreading it to everybody using Bluetooth, and then identifying then who wasn't vaccinated for the purpose of these vaccine
Remember,
passports.
I was telling you about this guy.
Vaccine passports, yeah.
New York City, they wouldn't let people into restaurants if they didn't have the vaccine. So
Years
this was
ago.
Be like, they wanted to identify everybody that didn't have the card.
So how many years ago was this?
Using Bluetooth, you said?
This is a recent interview.
Okay.
But I'm talking about when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
And you tested
Years
positive,
ago.
they would look at your phone, and your phone has Bluetooth, and they'd see all the other phones that touched it. So they can identify everybody that might have COVID. That's the contact tracing.
So you can cut that off.
It's basically just
So
what
basically,
Ted Kaczynski warned
what
about.
Palantir
This
is,
the
you can cut
classic
that.
panopticon surveillance state. And so Palantir was founded by Peter Thiel.
You guys
Cut. All right, so yeah. So basically, Palantir was given a lot of money through the Big Beautiful Bill by Donald Trump. It ties into the whole war in Gaza, the AI surveillance, how they were identifying everybody through biometrics. And now that program is going to be tied into the Department of Defense, our CIA, all of our medical information, and they're going to be using AI to scan and piece together.
and eventually trace and track.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
And
so,
read our biometrics.
Yeah, we need to disconnect from Palantir immediately, and
So really,
keep
you don't need to worry too much about
under a
Mondami.
scope. Yeah, I mean,
you could just chill with the Mondami and focus on everything else going to shit.
yeah, I don't know. But we have a special guest coming on. This guy has some election integrity information that I think everybody's going to want to hear. He's been digging deep in the crates. He was in the Library of Congress, looking at the Constitution, the original Constitution, found some anomalies, and he's going to be on with us to talk about it. So when I get him in here after the break, we're going to introduce him. And it's going to be an epic podcast. So make sure you share, like, subscribe, get this out to everybody. And let's go, everybody.
Stay tuned.
Stay
Noticed
tuned.
your money just doesn't stretch like it used to? Your paycheck feels lighter, and your savings aren't growing. The culprits? Inflation and increased money supply. They've both been quietly eating away at your purchasing power for years. Today, the dollar's value has dropped significantly. You feel it every time you spend money on goods and services. Back in 1965, $1 or an ounce of silver could buy you a gallon of milk. Fast forward to today. That same dollar barely buys a couple of coffee creamers, while an ounce of silver would get you 8 gallons of milk. Gold and silver have held their value for centuries. If you had 2,500 ounces of silver back in 1965, you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang. Today, 2,500 ounces of silver would buy you 2 Mustangs. Similarly, in the year 2000, 628 ounces of gold would buy a new $170,000 home. Today, 628 ounces would buy you a $2,500,000 home. The problem? 95% of Americans don't own physical gold or silver. They think it's too complicated and too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We offer a membership program that allows you to buy gold or silver with as little as $1. You can buy fractional amounts, safely vault them, or have them delivered to your doorstep. And you can liquidate them whenever you want at the highest buyback price in the industry. Ready to protect your wealth and keep your purchasing power? Scan the QR code or go to tafw.soundmoney.com to learn more.
The America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome to Right for America. Issues that unite, don't ignite.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone. We live stream every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. right here from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue in all the land.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Welcome to Liberty's Cage, the podcast tearing down the walls of America's broken justice system.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome to Suffocating in Suburbia with me, your host, Stevie GB.
What's up, everybody? We are back. So we have a special guest today. His name's John Goodman. He's a member of the Florida Election Integrity Committee, and he's going to be dropping some bombs on the show today. Let's bring in John. Bring him on.
Hello,
Bring him
everyone.
on. Where's he at? I can't see him on the screen over here. Control room, what are we doing? Let's go. There he is. What's up, buddy?
Nice.
Welcome to the show.
All right. Thank you. It's great to be with you. And yes, my
And
boss
with
on
your
the Florida.
spirit.
Thank you. My boss on the Florida Election Integrity Committee, the chairman Steve Stern, he appeared on the on your network with Joe the Box and said it was just such a well-run, great network, and he urged me to maybe come on one of the shows, and that's why I'm here. And you're right. We are going to deliver, not hearsay. I don't do that. No opinions. We're going to drop some bombs. And when I say drop some bombs, I'm going to reveal some things that you're going to be hearing on TV in the next few weeks. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to give you and your viewers just some information that is going to be like, wow. And then in a few weeks when they see it come through, then they're going to say, you know what? Know Your Enemies is an awesome show because they had the scoop before the national guys did.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm here.
Exactly.
That's why I'm here.
All right, so the first lineup we're going to run through is an old clip of Joe Biden. And let's play this clip real quick, and then we'll see what we're feeling after we hear what he's got to say.
Back to the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I want to ask, what made them do this? They must be taken off the street. That's number one. There's a consensus on that. Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing.
Who is he talking about?
They literally, I yield myself 3
That
more
sounds
minutes.
racist.
Because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now.
Wow.
And Madam President, we have predators on our streets.
Yo.
That society has, in fact, in part because of its neglect, created.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but he did not single out any ethnic background.
No, but it's
doesn't matter.
obvious.
Inference isn't doing. He did not commit to any specific.
What do you have to say about that, John?
Well, I have to say is the purpose of that video is not to show racism, even though one could argue both ways. But here's why that video is important. We are so tired of seeing on TV about Joe Biden's auto pen, right? All this speculation. Well, the signatures look the same, or no, they don't. And let's call in some witnesses who plead the fifth, and we don't get anywhere. So what I want to do, and what we're doing now, is we're giving your viewers something that they can actually wrap their arms around. So you see in that video, Joe Biden, when he was a senator, was one of the biggest crime hawks in the entire Senate. He worked across the aisle with Orrin Hatch and all these old-time Republicans. He wanted 5-year sentences for one marijuana cigarette. I'm not condoning marijuana, but that does seem a bit severe to me. So that's the Joe Biden of 1995, or 1993, excuse me. And then we have another Joe Biden that says it's okay to do cashless bail. How about catch and release? That's cool.
Right, but he was just following the agenda of probably George Soros, who owned him at that point.
Yeah.
Well, how about the agenda of what we're going to show next? So just remember, Joe Biden, one of the biggest crime hawks in the Senate for decades and decades. And then as president, he was one of the loosest on crime in sanctuary cities of any president in recent time.
Yeah.
Right.
Pull that
Right.
Image up. Pull the next image up.
Yes.
Let's show this off.
I cannot see the image or the video, so you'll have to show me when it's up, or tell me when it's up.
Yeah,
Okay.
so right now we're looking at the fact sheet. President Biden commutes the
Right.
sentence of 37 individuals on death row.
Okay, so your viewers just saw Joe Biden on the Senate floor in 1993 and what he had to say about crime and how strict he was on crime. Thank you. I can see that now. I appreciate it. Now, Joe Biden, the same Joe Biden that we just watched in video, commuted 37 individuals off of death row. And what they left out, and your viewers really need to know this, is 37 out of 40. It wasn't 37 out of 2,037, or so. It was 37 out of 40. As we sit here this evening, there are only 3 individuals in this entire country on death row. And Joe Biden, part of those 37 commutations of letting those people off of death row included a man who killed a police officer during a bank robbery, a man who killed a girl who struggled while she was being raped by another gentleman, and I won't go into the gory details. But again, that's why, to me, it looks like a lot of those death row commutations is auto pen. It's just hard to imagine. Even though Joe Biden was having some mental difficulties, it's hard to imagine that he would knowingly empty out death row after he was the biggest crime hawk in the Senate for 45 years.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted your viewers to see about the auto pen. We're not going to tell them. We'll let them decide.
Yeah.
We're investigating. But I wanted them to have something that was actual, a real video, a real release from the White House, not just some talking head on TV saying, well, it could be, maybe not, we're not sure. So that was the purpose of that. And I hope your viewers can come to a conclusion based on what we shared with them. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, no, that was definitely interesting.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then you also had some stuff on the election coverage, which was pretty interesting as well. Should we get into that?
Yeah, let's get into that. We have been debating for the last 5 years on whether the 2020 election was legitimate or was it rigged. Okay, that's what we've been doing. So First of all, I want to explain to your viewers quickly the difference between absentee ballot, which is legal, and mail-in ballot, which is illegal, and that's what you hear President Trump saying he's getting rid of.
Yeah.
Absentee ballot has been used since the start of the Revolutionary War in 1775, and it's been part of our voting system ever since, and it was interrupted because of the pandemic. But absentee ballot is for people that really cannot make it to the voting station, like you're elderly, disabled, overseas military, hospice, people in those situations.
Yeah.
Okay? Mail-in ballots, there is no such thing as mail-in ballots. Let me just be very blunt. Mail-in ballots is a sexy name that was given to the way we were forced to vote in 2020 because of the pandemic. Because we all had to mail in our ballots, thus the name mail-in ballots was born.
Yep.
Period.
Biggest
You can
fraud
look
we
in the
ever saw.
Yeah, it is the biggest fraud. You can look in the Constitution, which we're going to talk about that coming up, and we're going to have some big news coming up. Oh my goodness. And you can look in the 1965 Voting Act, the two gold standards of election laws in the United States. You won't find the word mail-in ballots anywhere because there is no such thing. And it should have been switched back to absentee ballot after the pandemic was over. But to be very honest, and not to sound overly political, the reason Joe Biden didn't switch it back to absentee was because he knew if he switched it back to just those narrow band of people that cannot make it to the voting station.
He would have lost.
And illegals, right, because illegals would not have been able to vote.
Yep.
So that is a big reason why it stayed the way it is. And I have been on the Republicans' butts for years saying, why are you not speaking up about this? This is not in any law, and it has burned the Republicans, and it could burn them again in the midterms if something's not done.
Yeah. So we got about a minute and a half left in the segment. You want to go through the numbers of the CNN, what you caught?
Yes.
All right, so let's pull up this image with the CNN anchor.
Perfect.
There we
now
go.
notice here, I took this picture myself on Wednesday, November 4th, 2020 at 4:37 a.m. off of CNN. You can see the morning after the election, Donald Trump has a lead of over 286,000 votes. That's over a 250,000 vote lead. The morning after the election, can you believe that, with only 4 counties totaling 166,000 registered voters?
Yep.
Outstanding. There
That's
wasn't
crazy.
even enough votes left. So now
pull up
let's
the
show
next
the
image,
final.
too.
Yeah. This is the final results in Michigan. But they're not really, they're bogus, but this is what CNN is in the history books. And if you blow that up, you can see they have Joe Biden winning by 154,000 votes. So you saw a minute ago, Donald Trump 286,000, loses by 154,000. So somewhere along the line, with only 4 counties outstanding, 430,000 votes swing in
Absolutely
Michigan.
crazy.
Impossible.
Absolutely impossible and crazy. And when we come back from this break, we're going to get more into this, and we'll see you on the side. Let's go.
You've worked hard and saved, but inflation and increased money supply are eroding your buying power. Protect and grow your wealth with physical gold and silver. Sound Money. With a Sound Money wallet, your wealth stays in your control. Buy fractionally, vault securely, ship directly, and instantly liquidate your gold and silver at the highest buyback price in the industry. Real money, real ownership. Visit tafwsoundmoney.info or scan the QR code and start securing your financial future today.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
1039 LI News Radio, across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer, fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
All right. We are back. Let's get our special guest back on so we can hammer through this bombshell news we got. John, welcome back. So
it's great to be on the show. A lot of fun, but we're only delivering facts. So just want to stress that to your viewers. We were not into propaganda and conspiracy theories. That's why we're bringing so much evidence with us to show your viewers right here and now. Exactly. And there's plenty more coming.
That's right. We back up what we say. So let's get into these Wayne County. Let's talk about Wayne County.
Yes. Okay. So we just showed you that Michigan, there was no way that Donald Trump could lose a 286,000 vote lead when there was only 166 votes left to count. Well, the way it works in Michigan is that the Republicans always get off to a huge lead because the Upper Peninsula, the rural areas, report first. So the Republicans always are up 10, 15 points early on. But where the Democrats make it up is in one of the bluest counties in this country, and that's Detroit, Wayne County, which is Michigan. 25% of their entire population is in that one county. And the reason Michigan had to pull the cheat was because of this.
Yep.
Democrats
pull that image up.
Yeah. Yes. And then I will tell you, Democrats, this is the 2020 presidential election results in Wayne County, Detroit, Wayne County, Michigan. And Democrats routinely get 78 to 80% of the vote. This is one of the bluest counties in America. Whether you're city council, governor, congresswoman, congressman, whatever, you're always 78 to 80%. Well, Joe Biden only got 68.4%. He underperformed Obama and Hillary Clinton by 10 to 12 points, which in the largest population county in the state is a huge number of votes. So that county, which is always the savior for the Democrats at the end, was not this time. And then all these votes started coming out of the woodwork when the election officials, and Gretchen Whitmer was on a talk show just before the election saying there's no way we're going to allow President Trump to win Michigan. That's why I focused on Michigan. She actually tipped me off, you know?
Yeah.
And when so I mean, it was a scam in Michigan. I know people talk about Georgia and Pennsylvania, and I don't comment on that because I don't have proof on that.
Sure.
I comment what I can prove. And Michigan cheated.
Yeah, 100%.
And if someone wants to challenge it, because I got the voter rolls also.
Yeah.
Nice. So the bottom line is, go ahead and challenge me, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Exactly.
So that's the end of that. But there's one last thing on Michigan, and then we'll move on.
All right.
This is another example. Quickly. Donald Trump in Michigan in 2020 got 390,000 more votes in Michigan than he did in 2024 and lost. So in other words, to put it in layman's terms, in Michigan, Donald Trump got 390,000 more votes in 2020 and lost Michigan. But in 2024, Donald Trump got 390,000 less votes in Michigan and won the state.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
Okay.
None whatsoever.
Total fraud.
None. A friend of mine asked me to point out one thing to you. Joe Biden in 2020 got 81 million votes. At least that's the reports. 81 million votes during the pandemic from his basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's from
million.
the mail-in ballots, which is another chart we could pull on screen real quick, and you can break that down.
Exactly. And the point is, Donald Trump in 2024 got 4 million less votes than Biden did in 2020.
Wow.
Even though Trump won all swing states and even the popular vote. And you guys know how hard it is for Republicans to win the popular vote, where the 3 highest population states in the country are blue: California, New York, Illinois, right? So for Trump to get 4 million votes less when sweeping the swing states and winning the popular vote, 4 million less votes than Biden did from his basement during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Come on now, folks.
Statistically impossible.
It just didn't happen. So that election was rigged, and that's
How do you
not
feel about the voter
we won.
machines, the Venezuelan machines?
Well, the voter machines. Let's go. First of all, you have that map of the country, and then after
pull that map up real quick. Let's stay
after
on
that,
topic.
we're going to go into the big bombshells, right? This is currently what the state's current deal is on absentee. Remember, absentee is the legal, or you have to have a valid excuse like hospice, elderly, disabled. Only the states in gray went back to the law after the pandemic. There's 13 of them. The states in red, there were no voting stations. It was 100% vote by mail. If you didn't vote by mail in those states in red, then you didn't vote. We have to pop this now because your viewers are smart.
Yeah.
They know that if it turns into a 75% of this country is 100% vote by mail, we will never know who really won and who really lost an election.
Yeah,
and your viewers are smart, and I know they realize that. So that's the purpose of showing you that. We have to nip this. And the blue you saw on there, anybody can get a ballot. You can be 25 years old and the owner of LA Fitness. You can get a ballot, or 2 or 3. All right, so what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, we got to make change. Let's get into the election clause and see what we got in there. So pull this next graphic up.
Sure.
And let's break this one down.
On the Florida Election Integrity Committee, chaired by the great Steve Stern, who basically is the president of election integrity in the United States. I mean, he really is. Just like Ben Schultz and Steve Bannon would be like the presidents of precinct strategy type thing. Nevertheless, my task on the committee was to find a way to end mail-in ballots. I went to the states. They told me, get out of here, buddy. Get lost. The Constitution says that the states have primarily 100% power over elections. And I went to the Constitution. I said, it says that. Oh. And I banged my head against the wall for months and months, wondering how in the heck am I going to get this changed when the Constitution says the states can do whatever they want with elections. It says primarily, but still. So what I decided to do is I said the only way to see what's up is to read the actual Constitution. And it took me 6 weeks to read the Constitution. Some letters are straight, some are slanted, some are cursive, some are print, some are italics, some lines overlap on others. It is the biggest headache read. And in about my 5th week, there was this shadow in the corner of about the 4,000th word, near the end, actually, of the Constitution. And I couldn't see it even with the magnifier from the microfilm viewer.
Can we pull up clip H real quick, asset H, to show the Constitution?
Yeah.
There
you can see it's not a word by word read, it's a syllable by syllable read. And those markings on it are not on your screen. Those are obstructions because 1789 is when it was ratified. And this shadow, I went back the next day. I brought a 100 times power lens with me to put between the microfilm viewer and the Constitution, which, by the way, is on like a faded beige brown parchment paper. It's really weird color, and it looks sort of dry rotted. It's hard to read. And it turns out that what I found was the oversight codicil that the framers put in the Constitution in case the states abuse their power. We have been, for hundreds of years, thinking that there was nothing we could do. The states had 100% power, and that explains why the Republicans are not saying anything about turning states into 100% vote by mail, because they think, like everyone else, that the states control elections. Well, I immediately called Steve Stern, and he put me in touch with a guy named Mike Lindell from MyPillow. I'm a private citizen. I don't deal with these bigwigs. I'm here to give breaking news to your viewers. Yeah. And this is your viewers. No one's heard this stuff, folks. Okay?
And Mike for Lindell, the first time.
They are, and that's why, but hey.
Hey, we got about 2 minutes until the end of the segment. Let's get into this executive order real quick so I can play the Trump clip.
Okay. So we have 2 minutes left on the show?
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, in the executive order, what I have done was I have supplied the White House with the pushback. In other words, Donald Trump is going to declare a national security emergency. This is what's going to happen, folks. This is breaking news. You're not even seeing this on TV. Donald Trump is going to declare a national security emergency because we have proof now that China tampered in the 2020 election, not to mention the states, but China. And he's going to declare his Article 2 powers, and the Supreme Court does not hear Article 2 cases with national security. Just like they don't hear cases about pardons. That's how Joe Biden got away with his 10-year pardon BS. Yep. Okay? And there's going to be no legal recourse for the Democrats because, number one, it says in the Constitution that the states cannot do anything that dictates electoral outcomes unfairly, but even better than that is a 1995 decision. We have to go through that for sure. That 1995 decision of the Supreme Court case was called Term Limits versus Thornton. And the Democrats wanted no term limits, and the Republicans wanted term limits. And the bottom line is, can you bring that slide up that shows that screenshot from the
could you just bring up clip? Should be the next one on the list before that one.
That's going to be our ending, but...
No, try the one before that. There you go.
No, the other one.
Go one more back.
The other way. Yeah, right there.
There you go.
This is a decision from the Supreme Court, and let me just read quickly. This decision, it started out on term limits, but then the Supreme Court morphed it into... Let me just tell you, states, what you can do and what you can't do when it comes to elections and candidates, et cetera, et cetera. And it says in this Supreme Court decision from 1995 that the states cannot go beyond protection of the integrity and regularity of the election process, and they cannot operate to disadvantage a particular class of candidates or negate a need for a general election. And then at the very bottom of their written decision, it says that the framers, as a grant of authority to issue procedural regulations, so the Supreme Court said the states have power over when does a polling station open and close, when does early voting start, whatever. But it says that the states cannot use their power to dictate electoral outcomes, an exact quote out of the Constitution I found, dictate electoral outcomes, and they cannot disfavor or favor a certain class of candidates or evade constitutional restraints. So the bottom line is that once Donald Trump signs that executive order, the Democrats are going to be yelling, he can't do it. The Constitution says the states have all the power.
Yeah.
Which it says that.
Yep.
But then what I submitted is going to be the pushback. Oh, you want to talk about the Constitution? How about this codicil that you never knew about? How about this Supreme Court decision that you're not aware of?
Exactly.
And that's going to be, so that's where we are. So there is an executive order coming out in the next 6 to 8 weeks or so, and it's going to be a wonderful thing because let's let the Democrats take it to the Supreme Court. Because do you think this Supreme Court is going to overrule the decision from the 1995 Supreme Court?
No way. No way. And with that, we're actually out of time. But I'm going to close out the show with the Donald Trump clip that I have ready to rock and roll. John, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate your insight. And everybody, we're going to see you on the next episode. Thank you for everybody watching, tuning in. We're going to close out with this Trump clip. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. We're out of here.
It's a corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country.